Hi everyone. Today we have Edwin. He's from University of Minnesota and will be sharing his journey with the aspirant. Welcome to ConnectBud, Edwin. How are you doing?
Hi, Babita. Good morning. I'm a master's in computer science student at the University of Minnesota, and
Okay.
thank you for asking. I'm doing good.
And tell us about your bachelor's also, Edwin. From where did you complete your bachelor's and what is the subject in which you are specializing in University of Minnesota?
Yes, I did my bachelor's back in India
Mm-hmm.
at Birla Institute of Technology and Science, Hyderabad, in
Okay.
electrical and electronics engineering.
Mm-hmm.
After that, I took a liking towards programming in general. So I took up a job in Ericsson, Bangalore.
Mm-hmm.
And through that experience, I felt that I should probably explore more of computer science. And I applied for a few colleges and I took up the master's at the University of Minnesota.
Okay. And tell our audience, Edwin, what all colleges you applied in United States as well as other countries, and was there a particular reason why you chose University of Minnesota over others?
Yes, I applied to about 8 universities. I don't remember all of the names, but the few that I remember, that is University of Minnesota, Penn
Mm-hmm.
State, University of Florida at Gainesville, University of Massachusetts at Amherst,
Mm-hmm.
and the other one was UC Santa Barbara, and
Okay.
colleges on those lines, mostly state universities.
Mm-hmm.
I had 4 admits, and the reason why I chose University of Minnesota was primarily because of the faculty that's here,
Mm-hmm.
and I like the kind of work that the faculty do in the other University of Minnesota,
Okay.
and that was like the primary reason why I chose this university over the others,
Mm-hmm.
and also that there are a few research assistantship opportunities that the university offers. So that was
Okay.
something that also affect my decision.
Okay. And since these were your criterias, do you what all aspirant should keep in mind in case if he has admit from multiple universities? So if you
Mhm.
can, share your thoughts on that.
I would say primarily you should look forward to whether you have the necessary courses which you can take in like the
Mm-hmm.
first year, and then be able to work with the professor you like as soon
Okay.
as possible, because
Mm-hmm.
what I have noticed and what others also would realize once they get here is the courses that are
Mm-hmm.
taught in second year. They might be interesting and they might be fun and there might be some learning to it also. But then
Mm-hmm.
you would probably start giving your interviews in August, September of your second year.
Okay.
That's like fall. So by then you won't be able to put or showcase those courses. So ideally
Mm-hmm.
you can plan courses in the first year, and that should be like your bulk of the courses that you take in the
Okay.
post year.
All right. Oh, this is really helpful, and also tell us about your GRE and TOEFL score, and did you attend any kind of online classes, or did you enroll into any classroom coaching to prepare for these exams?
Personally, I haven't. When I was in my undergrad, I just gave GRE for fun sake. I didn't really give it like a serious preparation to get
Okay.
a feel of the test. I didn't do really well on that. But then
Mm-hmm.
before I was applying for masters, I really sat down and I practiced GRE to a good extent. I primarily focused on reading comprehensions because
Mm-hmm.
that was like a known weak point, and the
Mm-hmm.
general consensus is that reading comprehensions are a hit or miss because there is no definitive procedure to be followed,
Okay.
which is why I picked up this book called RC99. It's
Mm-hmm.
a pretty old book which is followed by GMAT aspirants,
Mm-hmm.
but then they have like 3 levels of reading comprehensions. One is easy, medium, and hard.
Mm-hmm.
So the easy and medium questions is somewhat overlapping with what you would see in GRE. And
Okay.
once you get a hang of the easy, medium, and hard, uh, the comprehensions in GRE start to make a bit more sense.
Okay. And would you
And
like to talk about, yeah, sorry, go ahead. I was coming to the GRE, if you, how you prepared for GRE. The
yes,
quant
so
parts,
that
yeah.
was for the reading comprehensions.
Hmm.
For the quant parts, I just stuck to the Manhattan 5 pound book, the big book, the big green one. So
Mm-hmm.
that was my primary source of preparation. I just went over it like once, and I gave some mock tests on Kaplan. Other
Okay.
than that,
And if I have to ask you, for how many months did you prepare religiously that you have to do these exams with?
about 6 to 8 weeks. 6,
Six to 8 weeks.
6 to 8 weeks of serious prep. But when it came to vocab and reading comprehension, I had started a bit earlier because
Okay.
that's something that requires more practice. But
Okay.
quant, I took about 8 weeks.
All right. And would you like to talk about your GRE and TOEFL score?
Yes, GRE I got about 323, and
Mm-hmm.
TOEFL I got about 118.
Okay. And in this is in specific to your university. Was there a minimum GRE score needed for admission in your program?
There is no explicit cutoff as such. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the university site says about 315 is enough,
Mm-hmm.
but the candidate pool is such that eventually you see people who are about 320, but that's not
Okay.
a mandate. I mean, somebody with a good profile can get in even with 310, so there is no hard and
Okay.
fast rule for that.
All right. And in your opinion, what plays a major role when it comes to getting admit from university? Is it your GP or is it your GRE?
I would say the profile, because
Mm-hmm.
GPA can fluctuate because of personal reasons or because of the grading system. I
Mm-hmm.
have personally seen people from University of Mumbai where their GPA does not cross 8 because that's how their grading system is. And
Okay.
even at BITS, an average GPA is like 7.5, and people who are above 8 are usually like 2 out of 10 or 3 out of 10
Okay.
at best. So it depends from college to college, and
Mm-hmm.
universities are well aware of that.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't say that GRE or GPA are like a definitive guideline for any admissions,
Mm-hmm.
but profiles definitely is, and how you express your profile and sell it through your SOPs.
Okay. That's the key. Okay. Now let's talk about your visa interview. What kind of preparation you did for visa interview, and do you have some advice or suggestions for aspirant?
I would like to quote like a YouTube channel for this. I personally just followed this YouTube channel by Parth Vijay Varkia. So
Mm.
he's an ex-grad student, and he has a whole bunch of videos where he talks about visa interviews and what to expect and what not to expect.
Okay.
The only thing a student would personally have to do is just write down their entire application package. So the application package will be all the documents that you require when you go for the visa interview, and you
Mm-hmm.
should be able to answer each and every question that is related to your application package.
Okay. And did you reach out or took help from any private agencies or consultant when it comes to the entire admission process or the visa interview?
No, I applied on my own.
So this was done all by your, okay. So I was asking just because I want to tell student, yeah, this is something that they can do it by their own instead of spending tons of money on these agencies. Now let's come to the loan part as studying masters abroad or, your bachelor's cost a big sum of money. So did you take any student loan? And if yes, then it was from which bank and how was the process?
Yes, so there are multiple options when you're looking for an education loan for studying abroad.
Mm-hmm.
One can be you can approach a nationalized bank like State Bank of India. You can approach like private bank like
Mm-hmm.
Credilia, or you can also approach banks, a UK-based bank which gives out education loan. Or
Okay.
if you have a co-signer in the States, you can come here and get a loan for a much lower interest as well. I personally went ahead with State Bank of India, and
Okay.
as far as of now, the experience is pretty good. I mean, as long as you are able to get a loan from a branch which has some experience with handling education loans, you
Mhm.
will have a good experience.
Okay. And tell us about the campus size and other infrastructure.
So the campus where I'm studying at, it's kind of split between two towns.
Mm-hmm.
One is St. Paul and Minneapolis. But overall, it's pretty huge. I mean, the part of the campus that I am in, it has mostly the engineering and medical
Okay.
facilities, and it's great to walk around. It has like a huge library, and each building has its own study area.
Mm-hmm.
There is a recreation center as well. There are enough computer labs for studying. So if someone is not sure of buying like a laptop before coming to the States, that's okay. They can manage for a few weeks upfront and
Okay.
then buy one. Stay here also.
All right. And how is the general environment inside the university?
I'm lucky enough to study in a university which is like a college town. So
Okay.
usually college towns are like a more inclusive environment, and you mostly see students around you who are
Mm-hmm.
more or less have the same mindset. So
Mm-hmm.
it's totally fine and smooth. Well, if you're in a college town, I'm not sure
Okay.
how it works if you're not in a college town, but college towns are a really great place to be.
Okay. And is University of Minnesota popular for any of their program or sports activity?
The University of Minnesota is mostly known for its medicine program.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's probably in the top 10 for medicine, and
Okay.
it's also known for its MBA school,
Mm-hmm.
and the computer science department is getting there. Overall, the university is one of the top tier universities for engineering. So there are a lot of aspirants who also come here for electrical and mechanical,
Okay.
especially electrical, because uh, I think the inventor of supercomputers was from here.
Okay.
So there is that legacy that's there in the department, and you know it's really
Okay.
well known for electrical.
All right. Now, tell us about library and lab facilities that the university offers to its students.
So there is a dedicated library complex, and
Mm-hmm.
I personally feel it looks like Hogwarts. You get the feeling of
Okay.
like you're in a movie set, and it's really rustic and well
Mm-hmm.
lit and kind of plush, so it feels nice. Apart from that, as I said, there are a lot of common study areas, in corridors or in landings of each floor. So there's
Mm-hmm.
somewhere you could sit as well. I would say that you would ever fall short of study areas. There might be a bit of difficulty finding study areas around exam time, because
Mm-hmm.
everybody would want to sit and study, but most of the times it's fairly manageable and there's sufficient place to find.
Okay.
And in terms of labs, like computing labs, uh, I think each building has one computing lab with
Mm-hmm.
about 100 plus computers. So that's
Okay.
also pretty much available most of the time.
All right. And what about gym and recreational facilities?
The recreation center is really well equipped. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, personally, I haven't seen a gym of that scale in India, and
Okay.
they usually make these gyms to cater to athletes. So there is
Mm-hmm.
no shortage of any equipment. There is all the machines, enough quantity of them, and
Mm-hmm.
also like you have different types of equipment that you have access to. So
Okay.
that's really good.
All right. And how good are healthcare and medical facilities inside university?
Yes. As I mentioned, University of Minnesota is known for its medicine program.
Mm-hmm.
So the and like the healthcare that is provided by the university. In the
Okay.
sense, we have about I live close to a hospital which is run by the university, so it's
Okay.
fairly accessible. Like even the student insurance that is offered, it's offered through the university, and all the facilities, whether it is visiting like a clinic or going to the dentist or going for
Mm-hmm.
any checkup, is through the university, and it will be mostly be faculty doctors who are
Okay.
part-time doctors who take care of you.
All right. And how good are career center and career service facilities inside the university?
Uh, I would say they do try their bit. They do
Mm-hmm.
try to host events. We did have two events, each at the beginning of each semester.
Mm-hmm.
But personally, I would also want to add that the way placements and internships work in America is mostly by applying on your own, and
Mm-hmm.
since most of it is online, like
Mm-hmm.
getting referrals on LinkedIn, contacting recruiters, that is the way to go. There have
Okay.
been few cases where people were able to strike a conversation and you know make connections and also land their internships. But
Mm-hmm.
I would not ask anyone to expect career fairs as their way to go.
Okay. So
It
they
can be
really
an
have to,
experience.
yeah,
Yes,
they have to put in effort to get a potential job or internship, other
yes,
than just relying on career fair.
yes.
Okay, and this goes well for undergrads as well as graduate student, right, Edwin?
Yes, yes, it works the same for both.
Okay. And tell us about on-campus job options for student, and also did you do any on-campus job?
I'm afraid I haven't done any personally, but
Mm-hmm.
through my friends and the other peers that I have in my batch, there are a lot of opportunities in terms of research assistantships or
Okay.
teaching assistantships. Teaching assistantship is something that people can approach professors for, and if the
Mm-hmm.
if they're able to strike a conversation and convince them, you can get it under the same professor. Research
Okay.
assistantship is mostly dependent on your skill set and your profile, so it
Mm-hmm.
varies from case to case. And definitely there are opportunities, and like, as you keep interviewing, something might come along with it.
Okay. And how easy is to get into TA and RA jobs on campus? And also, does this jobs gives you any kind of fee waiver?
Yes, so there are two tiers of assistantships, whether research
Mm-hmm.
or teaching assistantship.
Mm-hmm.
The minimum I have heard is like 17.5%. So 17.5% implies 17.5% of the time, and that's 17.5% of 40 hours a week.
Okay.
Yeah. And 25% is 25% of hours of your week, and 50% is
Okay.
50% hours of your week. And if you land an assistantship which is 50% of your time, you get full tuition waiver. If you
Okay.
get an assistantship which is 25% of your time, you get half of the
Mm-hmm.
tuition waiver. And I think the stipend that they pay is varying between $20 to $26 an hour.
Okay. And tell us about internship. If you had a chance to do internship with any firm, and how easy is to get into an internship?
Yes, I did try for a few places, but then unfortunately, because of the COVID situation, I stopped hearing back from companies
Yeah,
sometime
there
around
has been a lot
February.
of, yeah, hiring
Yeah,
freeze because of this. Yes.
yes, but yes, I mean, applying through LinkedIn was the only way. Like any interview that I got was mostly through LinkedIn. So
Mm-hmm.
I would suggest that if someone is, I can't say it for other fields like
Mm-hmm.
mechanical and electronics, but for computer science, what I've seen is that you can apply even before you come to the States, because few
Okay.
companies like Bloomberg and Microsoft start recruiting in July, August timeframe.
Okay.
And there is a hiring lull between, let's say, end of November, that's Thanksgiving, to about
Mm-hmm.
mid of Jan. So most companies kind of go in a hibernation kind of a mode in that
Okay.
6 weeks. So, if someone is looking for internships, they can apply as soon as they want.
So you said a student can apply it even before coming, but a lot of university have some restriction for eligibility for internship, especially for international student. So does University of Minnesota has it?
I'm sorry if I wasn't clear. I meant like if someone is joining this fall and they want to do an
Okay.
internship after spring, they can apply before fall starts.
Okay, so
Uh,
the you mean the applying for internship and preparing yourself. Okay, but is there an eligibility criteria that only after completing these many semesters or credit you can actually go out and do internship?
Yes, I think it's not from the university end as such. I think it's mostly enforced by the immigrations department, the
Okay.
USCIS, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
So they require about 1 year of in-person instruction for someone to do an internship.
Okay, okay. Oh, so it's better that you start applying and preparing so that you have a potential chance of getting into internship when you become eligible for it, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So this was really helpful. And would you like to recommend any additional courses that a student can take or prepare before coming to university or after coming to university, just to increase his or her chances of landing into a potential job or internship?
Uh, when it comes to software engineering, that mostly depends on your interest. And
Mm-hmm.
if someone is interested in data science, I would suggest they can probably do the specialization by Andro NG.
Okay.
That's something I've seen fairly common with people who are interested in machine learning and who are looking for machine learning internships.
Mm-hmm.
But again, like that's not hard and fast. Profile supersedes all of this. So if someone has a good profile, uh,
Okay.
these things might not even be required.
All right. And let's talk about the stay in Minnesota. Are you staying on campus or off campus? And how did you find your house where you're staying at right
So I've been fortunate enough to live in a place which is about a kilometer from my department. It's only
now?
about a
Okay.
half a kilometer from the university by walk.
Okay.
But that took me quite some time. I had to look up the site called apartments.com, and
Mm-hmm.
then I just did like a search by radius kind of a thing, and I found some potential places which were affordable. uh,
Mm-hmm.
and then I had to make like few calls, uh, I, and I was able to close the deal on this. So the university as such does not offer explicit housing to graduate students. uh,
Okay.
they, students are mostly on their own, and a student could spend anywhere between like 350 to 400 for a sharing room,
Okay.
to about 500 to even 1,000 for a single room. So it's
Okay.
totally up to the student. But there are enough housing opportunities. I mean, you just have to be a bit aggressive if you want something that suits all your preferences.
Okay. And tell us about the professor. Do you have any professor whom you would like to call as your favorite in the university? If so, what is the reason for that?
So of all the courses I've taken, I really like this professor called Arindam Banerjee. He
Mm-hmm.
took this introductory course on machine learning, and
Okay.
he's one of the few professors who has real industry experience and who's kind
Mm-hmm.
of an advocate for machine learning. And
Okay.
so he's really engaging, and he mostly teaches out of experience. There are no slides as such that he follows, but
Okay.
the school teacher kind of way where they present things in a flow and they're more natural at it. And
So it's
that's
more
what
of an
most students
industry
like.
approach that he has, like wherein you
Yes,
get
yes.
to. Okay. And other than him, is there any other professor that you want to talk about who might not have taught you but is really famous because of his popularity among students or because of the contribution that he has made in his field?
So that varies from interest to interest. I know that the computer vision chair for
Mm-hmm.
um, CVPR is in this university. So he's Professor Hyunsuk Park. So if somebody is
Okay.
interested in computer vision, he would be the go-to guy.
Mm-hmm.
There is also a professor named Abhishek Chandra, which is known for distributed systems. So
Okay.
it really boils down to your interest, and they are great professors who will lead you through whatever work that interests you. And yes, definitely there is the all-star of the department is Professor Devin Kumar. So
Okay.
he's a professor under whom Jeff Dean had done his undergrad thesis,
Okay.
the inventor of TensorFlow. So he's
Mm-hmm.
really well known in the university for his work and for his research.
All right. And let's talk about student club. How many students club are there on campus, and have you participated in these student club? If yes, then please talk about
Personally, I haven't participated in any, but the university has many active clubs. There's also a club for
Mm.
graduate students, and within
Mm-hmm.
that there is a club for computer science graduate students, and they
Okay.
do try out to host events. They have like a coffee hour on a weekly basis where we just get to meet and interact with other grad students from our department.
Mm-hmm.
So there are a lot of avenues which you can explore if it suits your interest or if you have the time.
Okay. And also, other than being a part of these club, what all students generally do for entertainment purpose?
Uh, I would say it's totally dependent on your group. I mean, like as we until COVID was a situation, we had this really sort of a small theater which is near the campus. So we would just go
Mm-hmm.
there and watch movies, for
Mm-hmm.
which we get like a student discount. So we went there fairly often. But now
Okay.
we're not able to go for that. But otherwise, there are a lot of parks which you can visit if that's your interest. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
All right. And let's talk about the number of hours that a student in your program would spend in a week attending lectures, doing homework, assignments, and project.
Yes. That depends from course to course.
Mm-hmm.
You could take difficult courses as distributed systems or
Mm-hmm.
computer vision. That would take about 15 hours a week.
Okay.
Okay. If you go for like a moderate course like database systems, that would take about 5 to 8 hours a week, or
Mm-hmm.
8 to 10 hours a week. And
Mm-hmm.
if you're going for a simpler and a more straightforward course like user interface and design, that would take
Mm-hmm.
about 5 hours, 5 to 6 hours a week. So it totally depends on the course, and again, your prior experience also does count. So if you
Okay.
have prior experience with distributed systems, the course, though it might be hard, it can be done in a shorter time. But again, there are a few tricky courses like courses related to parallel programming,
Mm-hmm.
which are known to be difficult because that's something that you wouldn't learn in the industry or something you cannot pick up on
Okay.
your own. So those courses can even take 20 hours a week.
All right. And depending upon the experience that you have faced till now, how would you rate academic pressure and workload in your program on the scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest?
I would say it's fairly manageable. I
Hmm.
would give it like a 7 on 10.
Okay.
It's totally dependent on you. Like if a student walks in and takes like 3 hard courses, then they are in big soup because
Okay.
each course would have an assignment due sometime like 2 to 3
Mm-hmm.
weeks in, and
Mm-hmm.
you really have to juggle like really fast to
Okay.
manage that. So I would suggest like if someone is taking 3 courses, at least keep one of them manageable and two of your interest and of varying difficulties.
Okay.
But
So
having
that
three
was a good
courses
tip.
hard.
Yeah. So this is a good way of managing and taking the course so that you do good as well as you're able to manage your time as a student. Now tell us about the course structure. Is there anything you really like about the course structure or dislike about the course structure in your
There's actually full flexibility when it comes to courses.
program?
The only hard and fast requirement that we has as students is doing something called 8,000 series courses.
Mm-hmm.
And 8,000 series courses can be counted as capstone. So those
Okay.
are we need to do 2 of those, and those courses are usually something which you work with a professor on. So it can either be like a one-off research course where
Mm-hmm.
you're just reviewing papers and trying to implement something, or it can be 2 courses would work towards you doing a engineering problem and trying to come up with a solution, and that's
Okay.
something you would defend against a committee. And you can also use those 2 courses to do kind of a thesis. So it's totally
Mm-hmm.
dependent, and that's like the only limitation that's there. But then that's a decent requirement since we it helps you learn certain skills.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, there's pretty much full flexibility in terms of what courses that can be taken.
Okay. And what is the tuition fee for the entire program? And also, other than tuition fee, what all expenses that you have to bear as a student on your insurance, food, accommodation, etc.?
Yes. So when it comes to the tuition fees, as we are out of state students, we pay about
Mm-hmm.
15,000 a year, a semester. Sorry. So the tuition
Okay.
fee would turn up to be about $60,000, and
Okay.
we pay insurance on an annual basis, which is $2,500.
Mm-hmm.
And the living expenses can vary anywhere between, as I said, like $350 to $1,000 on your rent. And the food is like, I would say if you're cooking on your own and eating mostly by
Mm-hmm.
yourself, it would cost $150 a month. But it can,
Okay.
sky's the limit on that depending on your
All right.
preferences.
And let's talk about financial aid. Does a university provide any kind of financial aid? Also,
Sorry,
if
I'm not
yes,
sure about
then
that.
what is the process and what is the criteria for getting those kind of financial
I'm afraid I'm not aware of any. I did try to
aid?
look few on my end also, but as far as I know, the university does not offer any financial aid explicitly.
Okay. It's only that if in case if you get into TA or RA, you get a fee waiver. That's one kind of
Yes, yes.
financial aid. All right. Now let's talk about your future plan. Uh, where do you see yourself in next 5 6 years, and how is your career center or counselors going to help you achieve
I would say the biggest contributor to understanding what you want to do at the university and outside would be a peer
that?
group.
Mm-hmm.
So I would mostly you will end up seeing people referring to their peer group or interacting with
Okay.
their peers, and that will be the sort of guidance and the kind of motivation that comes in.
Mm-hmm.
5 years down the lane, I see myself becoming like a tech lead, and that's
Okay.
something I want to work towards.
Mm-hmm. All right. And would you like to name some companies that hire student from your program as well as in general from University of Minnesota?
Yes. So when it comes to it, again varies from department to department.
Mm.
But like when it comes to mechanical engineering, I don't have any friends, so I can't speak about that.
Okay.
But when it comes to electrical, since it's one of the oldest electrical engineering programs,
Mm-hmm.
they do have a lot of students who get their co-op in companies like NVIDIA, Intel, Apple, Synopsys, and
Okay.
Microsoft. So
Mm-hmm.
that's something that happens in the electrical engineering department. And when it comes to computer science, since the University of Minnesota is the flagship university in the state, we have tie-ups with companies like 3M and Target. So
Mm-hmm.
as these companies are, from Minnesota, they do tend to hire a few people, and they
Okay.
do actively try to involve themselves in the whole career process, and they do reach out to students over here. Other than that, I would say when it comes to the big names like the MNCs that are Silicon Valley based or Seattle or New York based,
Mm-hmm.
they pretty much do not distinguish between universities. So as long
Okay.
as the candidate is able to reach out to them and crack a deal, it's the same for everyone.
All right. Now, our my last question, it's very important, is that would you like to talk about one mistake that you or your peer would have made that you absolutely want to avoid, which you absolutely want future student to avoid, and also a piece of advice that you want to give it to them?
I think the only mistake I would say I made was not applying for internships early enough. So I myself started applying in October, but turns
Okay.
out that was also a bit late. So if somebody is really like looking to close in on internships by the end of
Mm-hmm.
their first semester, it's better off to apply sometime August. So that's something that like for instance for Amazon, when we
Mm-hmm.
were applying for our internships, my peer group applied around November,
Okay.
beginning like first week of November.
Mm-hmm.
But I have personally seen that people in my batch who applied after October mid did not get a call.
Okay, okay. So, and also another piece of advice, this is a mistake, but general advice that you want to give it to aspirants.
The general advice I would say is be positive. The courses might be hard or easy. But I would say there's always a way to go about courses. You have
Mm-hmm.
great support in terms of teaching assistants. That's like the best system I've seen, where you have teaching
Mm-hmm.
assistants who understand the course to the whole extent, and they are as
Okay.
approachable as a friend. And also you have your friends who are along with you, and so courses should not be a concern. I would suggest just focus on your specialization and your interests, and that's something you will see paying off in the long run.
All right. So this was really helpful, Edwin. I want to tell our viewers that Edwin is one of the expert on platform. You can ask him question, make connection, hire him if needed, and he'll be more than happy to help you out with this entire process. Thank you again, Edwin, for your time, and I wish you all the best and stay safe.
Yeah, thank you, Bobby.
All right. Bye-bye.